Looking on from the side and with a lot of affection for Palestine, for Israel, it's very difficult to conclude that the settlements are justifiable in any possible way. But it's equally very difficult to justify the activities of the Jenin brigades in the same way as it's impossible to justify the activity of the IRA in all its various incarnations. It's impossible to justify the Kurdish militia in all its incarnations. But at the same time, one hand, another hand. In Russia, you can have many hands. In English, you can only have two, but that often isn't enough. It's so important to work at the peace process, and that is a lifelong adventure which requires constant vigilance, an effort to do the right thing all the time, not to cut corners, to demonstrate that the political process is one that works. Because otherwise people will resort to the gun if it's within living memory. And I'm afraid the Jenin Brigade are particularly difficult because they are divorced from the Palestinian Authority. They have no faith in their own political leadership. And what they see around them is the Israeli settlers trampling on their land. And the problem with the Israeli situation is that it's also dogged by religious bigotry. And something that is written down appears to be right. It appears to be bounded by traditions. But when we look at it in the longer term, this world has been spinning into existence for 2.5 billion years, and for a very small space of time, 2,000 years for Christianity, slightly less for Islam, and significantly more, but only in terms of our millennia, 4,000 years, as Judaism has been around. But that is nothing in comparison with the period of time that our world has been evolving. And what are we supposed to conclude from that? That God has only interest in the final few minutes of this development, the final 4,000 years of Earth? That God is only proposing to save the people from that period, to bless the people from that period? What about the thousands, millions of people and animals, creatures, sentient beings who came before us? Is God blind to them? I find it really difficult to take a sort of fundamentalist view of religion seriously. But equally, I find it very difficult to ignore religion. I think religion has given us some of the greatest music, art, literature that we possess. And it's the combination not only of Shakespeare, but also of the King James Bible, which has given us the immense richness of English. It's the Reformation and the Counter-Reformation which gave us the Baroque and the wonders of the Vatican. And it's the irrepressible desire, the thirst for knowledge, and to harness that knowledge that gave us the great breakthroughs in mathematics and philosophy, which we owe to Islam and to the translation of Greek and Indian literature into Arabic. We owe so much to these three great religions, and yet, those who doggishly pervert the true message of these religions, which is the progress that they testify, the extraordinary development in ideas, those people who ignore that and who instead grab land and persecute others in the name of their God, they've missed the true meaning. In each of these religions, there is a focus on kindness, whether we call it chesed or whatever we call it, charity. And not only charity to people within our own community, but charity to the stranger who dwells among us. And to ignore that is to ignore the religion.